So what do you do if you can't afford to pay your quarterly estimated taxes? My name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting, and we provide tax and accounting services to therapists in private practice and small business owners. So imagine the situation. It is around Q2, so around June 15th, because that's when that payment is due. And you just got done with your taxes from the prior year. You haven't been setting aside money for your estimated taxes. You've missed Q1 of the current year, and now Q2 is due, and you don't have the money to make that payment. My first suggestion is don't panic. This is a situation a ton of people get into, especially the first or second year of business, and it's time to put a plan in place so this doesn't happen in the future and you can get caught up. So our recommendation is, 1, don't panic, and then 2, how much money can you make? Say your Q2 estimated payment it should have been $2,000, but you only have $500, make that $500 payment. And if you didn't make Q1, and so you also owe $2,000 for Q1, that's okay. Right now, we know that you've made a $500 payment, you're behind by $3,500. We know that. Now, what that means though, is now you need to make a plan to start saving for those payments, right? Q3, you're going to owe another $2,000, and that's going to be in September, right? And it's just around June now. My recommendation is normally setting aside 20% of your income for taxes so you can make that $2,000 payment in September. But now we know you're behind by $3,500 and you're going to have that $2,000 payment, right? So the recommendation would be pause and then increase the amount of money you set aside each month. 40%, great figure. It's doubling what you were setting aside before, and you can then start stocking away that money. Now, if you don't have 40% to set aside, my recommendation would be to maybe then set aside 20, 25%, 30% for your income taxes. In addition, one of the things you can do at this point in time then is, it's July, you have the 30%, say it's $300, just make the payment in July online for your estimated taxes. That way that $300 is paid as of July, and so there's less interest for late payment for that Q1 and Q2 payment that weren't paid. You didn't pay in enough. And then the goal would be each month to keep setting aside what you can and making that payment. So obviously, maybe you make it, maybe you get the $3,500 paid off, you get back into a routine, you're making your $2,000 estimated tax payments. But say you haven't, it's year end, or filing your taxes, you still owe $1,000, you don't have the $1,000, you've been setting money aside for your estimated taxes for the current year. At this point in time, it might be time to talk about doing a payment plan if you can't pay that off within 90 days. If you can pay it off within 90 days, I would recommend to make, not get on, because you can only get on a payment plan after, if you're not going to make it with that 90-day rule. You are going to owe late interest on the payments. You're going to also owe a late payment penalty. So our number one concern is to prevent this, right? To get to the point where you are saving enough each month to cover your tax burden. And if you're behind, to get caught up, to cut things out of your budget if you can, to add on another client. But if it does get it to where it's tax time, you don't have the money, you can get on a payment plan with the IRS. They're pretty cool about it as long as it's under $50,000. And, getting that figured out, it's an online process. It isn't too bad. The issue is once you do get on a payment plan with the IRS, you now need to remain current. So you're on a payment plan for that $1,000 each month. You better be setting aside enough money for your current taxes and making sure that you're making that payment, because you can't fall behind again, or it can violate that payment plan, and you don't want that payment plan to be violated, right? So the biggest advice is get on a schedule, be setting aside 20% and making sure you're making those payments. If you get behind, increase the amount you're setting aside, maybe start making monthly payments, estimated tax payments to the IRS until you get caught up. And then if you don't get caught up, At tax time, it's time to look at a payment plan and what that would look like for your situation. Overall, try not to panic. It's a situation a ton of people find themselves in. The biggest thing to remain calm and figure out a plan to move forward and not just keep spiraling so you keep owing the IRS more and more money. If you found this helpful, subscribe below.